It's Holy Wednesday, also known as Spy Wednesday, the day Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Let's use our coin purses to further the gospel instead. In case you missed it, we've got a two-part challenge for you this week. Number one, give $25 to a ministry sharing the gospel year-round with college students through Crew, incarcerated men and women through Prison Fellowship, or people with disabilities through Johnny and Friends. And number two, invite a friend or neighbor to church and let us know through the link in the show notes so we can pray for them.
Hey, this is Zan at The Pour-Over.
And this is Joe at The Pour-Over.
On the news front, today we're talking about El Salvador's president visiting the White House, Harvard refusing the Trump admin's demands, Nvidia announcing American-made AI chips, and other top news for Wednesday, April 16th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with The Pour-Over today.
Here's your quote of the day. I am imperfect in many things, nevertheless, I want my brethren and kinsfolk to know my nature, so that they may be able to perceive my soul's desire. St. Patrick. Let's get started with some espresso shots.
A high-profile deportation case has come to a legal standstill. While visiting the White House on Monday, El Salvador's President Bukele said he won't return Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a man the United States government mistakenly deported to an El Salvador megaprison. The issue has sparked debate. Abrego Garcia, who's married to an American and has a 5-year-old in Maryland, was legally protected from being deported to specifically El Salvador due to local gang threats. Critics argue that if he's not returned, there's no penalty for illegal deportations. The Trump admin says that Abrego Garcia came to the U.S. illegally, has alleged MS-13 gang ties, and was allowed to be deported, just not to El Salvador. They argue there's no way to fix the administrative error because U.S. courts have no jurisdiction over a Salvadoran in an El Salvador prison. As nations debate authority and justice, followers of Jesus rest in a greater promise, an eternal kingdom where true righteousness and peace will reign forever. Matthew 5:5 says, "Blessed are the humble, for they will inherit the earth."
America's oldest university is in a war of wits and wallets with Uncle Sam. The Department of Education sent a letter to Harvard on Friday demanding the university, number one, allow an external panel to audit for anti-Semitic harassment and ideological capture on campus. Number two, make admissions and hiring decisions based on merit, not race, gender, religion, etc., and discontinue DEI programs. And number three, screen international students for hostility to quote-unquote American values. The Bostonians dumped Washington's letter into the harbor, metaphorically. Harvard president responded Monday that the Fed's demands violate free speech and undermine intellectual freedom, saying the Crimson won't, quote, surrender its independence. Within hours, the White House said Harvard has a quote-unquote troubling entitlement mindset and froze $2.3 billion in federal funding. Harvard responded by updating its website to highlight the, quote, cutting-edge medical, scientific, and technological research that funding enabled. Here's a verse to consider when a conflict escalates quickly and you're not sure how to resolve it. Be compassionate and humble, not paying back evil for evil or insult for insult, but, on the contrary, giving a blessing. Let him seek peace and pursue it, because the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. 1 Peter 3, verses 8 through 12.
Nvidia's chips are coming home for dinner. The world's top semiconductor company announced it will manufacture some of its AI supercomputers on Uncle Sam's turf for the first time. Nvidia plans to build, test, and package up to $500 billion worth of AI hardware stateside over the next 4 years. Production is already underway in Arizona, with Texas next. The White House called the move the, quote, Trump effect in action, citing President Trump's sweeping tariffs aimed at boosting U.S. manufacturing. The chipmaker appears to be reading between the tariffs. The move comes as the Commerce Department launched a national security investigation into foreign-made chips and electronics. According to a federal notice, semiconductors and supply chain products will not be excluded from tariffs, an apparent reversal of the tariff exemptions for tech products announced last Friday. Tariffs, tech policy, and the economy can all feel distant, but they remind us how easy it is to place our hope in power, success, or strategy. As believers, we can be at peace knowing that God reigns even as the world shifts. Psalm 9, 7-10 says, "But the Lord sits enthroned forever. He has established his throne for judgment. And he judges the world with righteousness. He executes judgment on the nations with fairness. The Lord is a refuge for the persecuted, a refuge in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you because you have not abandoned those who seek you, Lord."
Easter is the biggest celebration of our faith. And what better way to celebrate than giving the gift of God's Word? Whether you're looking for a first Bible for a child, a beautiful study Bible for a new believer, or a note-taking Bible to sneak into your own Easter basket, Christian Standard Bibles have something for every age and personality. The CSB is highly readable and accurate, making it perfect for any reading level. Plus, you can make it extra special with personalization options. This Easter, go beyond the candy and egg hunts and celebrate the deeper meaning of the resurrection by gifting a Bible that your loved ones will cherish for years to come. See the link in the show notes to shop for the perfect one.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. President Trump said CBS should lose their license after Sunday's 60 Minutes featured segments on Ukraine and Greenland that he called, quote-unquote, highly inaccurate. Trump says he hopes the Federal Communications Commission will impose the maximum fines and punishment. Number 47's comments come as mediation begin on his $20 billion suit against Paramount, CBS's parent company, for alleged election interference.
Paige Beckers just banked the top spot. As expected, the Dallas Wings drafted the UConn star first overall in Monday's WNBA draft. Last week, Beckers led UConn to its first national title since 2016, which also happens to be the last time a Husky went number one. She joins a reloaded Dallas roster in a long line of legendary UConn pros.
Big stock market turbulence has meant big money for big banks. Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and Morgan Stanley posted massive first quarter revenue jumps as interest income swelled and volatile markets translated to a surge in trading revenue, which are fees collected each time a stock is bought or sold. Despite big profits, executives warned that tariffs were a dark cloud over markets.
Zuck's on the stand and Meta's future is on the line. CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified Monday as the FTC launched a landmark antitrust trial against Meta, arguing it has a monopoly on social media and should be forced to divest Instagram and WhatsApp. Meta has defended its actions and argues it cannot be a monopoly since it, quote, has never charged users a cent.
Baby, you're a fire astronaut. Katy Perry and 5 other female celebrities, including CBS Morning's co-host Gayle King and Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, launched into space aboard a Blue Origin rocket on Monday in the first all-female spaceflight since 1963. The 10-minute flight traveled more than 60 miles above sea level before the reusable booster, capsule, and crew parachuted safely home.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support and we hope you have a great day. Catch you on Friday.
Are you feeling stressed? You're definitely not alone. Over a quarter of U.S. adults say they're so stressed they can't function. Stress Less is a new book by pastor and brain science researcher Charles Stone. It blends biblical truth and neuroscience to offer 9 practical, hope-filled ways to navigate stress with wisdom and grace. Grab it at the link in the show notes.